All right, this is a big one for all of you sports enthusiasts out there. I am with Nick Friedell, actually a classmate of mine when I was at Syracuse. Nick and I had many a class together, and you've moved from the classroom to ESPN Chicago.
I'm here, Professor Fote.
Yeah.
I did it. I did it.
So tell me, Nick, I mean, when you were in school, I remember, our classmates remember this, you wanted to do sports. I mean, this was your life goal. So how'd you make it happen? It wasn't that easy, was it?
A lot of perseverance,
yeah.
a lot of hard work. Everybody will say the same thing, but it's a lot of staying in touch with every single person I met in school. Friends of mine who knew somebody, who knew somebody, who knew somebody. It's like playing connect the dots, and I just connected enough of them to get to Chicago and to be where I wanted to be doing sports. I mean, Kim, I'm talking about sports for a living.
Yeah, I know.
It's pretty cool.
And you, I mean, the whole part about perseverance, like, you took years, and maybe for somebody who's, and I'm not just calling you out, for somebody who wants to do this, it can take time, but boom, I mean, look at where you are now. Tell me about what the job is. What do you cover? What do you do? What's a day-to-day in the life of Nick?
Well, we should tell everybody, first of all, perseverance for sure. I spent 3 years living at home with my parents. Now, I was doing other stuff, but 3 years with mom and dad after school. I was calling my professors going, what am I doing? And Professor Fote's looking at me going, maybe you should try sales, because she knew I wanted to do this, but it takes a while to get to where you want to get to, but ultimately somebody's going to open the door for you and help you out. But as far as the day-to-day now goes, I cover the Bulls mainly here in Chicago, so I follow them on the road, at home, wherever they go. My day starts at 8 or 9 in the morning, which is way too early for me because I hate waking up early and getting things together, but I have to drive out to their practice facility. They have a morning practice. I talk to the players. I write some stuff for the website. I do some stuff for the radio. I go on the talk shows both in the morning, in the afternoon, and at night.
Yeah.
Before the game, I'll go on the talk show, go to the game, write something after the game, do some reports after the game, go on the post-game show after the game. So
my head is spinning.
It's a big day from about 9 a.m. to 1 a.m. the whole way through. There's not much of a break, but I love doing it, and it never really feels like a job, which is the way it should be.
Talk to me about how social media has played a role in your career, because I think, you know, when we were in the classroom, nobody was tweeting. I think Facebook was just starting, and now it must be like a big part of your daily life.
It's constant, and that's been the biggest difference now from when we were in school. We graduated in '06. I didn't know what Twitter was. When Twitter first came out, I was kind of like, this is stupid, it's never going to last. Twitter is gigantic for what I do on a day-to-day basis, but it's not even day-to-day, it's like minute-to-minute, literally. Somebody will say something. In my case, Derrick Rose, usually the Bulls, he's the star player. Whatever he says, whatever he does, instantly I tweet it, and thousands of people read it. And it's
34,000 followers to be exact. Today. Tomorrow it could be 36,000.
I mean, you never know. But when you see all that stuff and you realize how many people are consuming it constantly, you're never off in a job like this. And it's probably any job in our field anymore. You're never off because there's always news, something's always happening, but there's no question that social media, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Twitter, people recognize me almost as much for being on the radio and writing on the website as they do saying, I follow your tweets. I read your tweets, man. I like, that's good, or I hated that, but it's a constant back and forth, and I am a huge proponent of it now, and I didn't think I was going to be in the beginning.
So it's one thing to get, you got in, you are in here in ESPN Chicago. What's the key to staying in? Because I think a lot of people, they get that job, and then you're only as good as your day-to-day. I mean, staying on top of things, you know, keep honing your craft. Talk to me about that a little bit.
Let's be real blunt for all the students that are listening to this right now. You have to work your ass off. We might have to bleep that, I know. But you have to work your butt off. It has to be a daily commitment to doing everything you do to being successful. I mean, there are so many people, and it was the same whether it was news, sports. I mean, we went to class with the same people in school. Everybody wants to do these jobs. So if I quit tomorrow, there's a line wrapped around the block to take my job, and people who can think they can do it better or they can do stuff differently. So it's every day you've got to realize that people are trying to gun for what you're doing, and they're watching you or they're listening to you. So you have to work as hard as you can, and it starts in school. But there's stuff that we learned in class that I'm still using today, and it's the work ethic. I think that's a huge part of it, and I didn't realize. But every day you've got to tell yourself, this is what I want to do, and this is what I have to do to stay on that top level.
Fantastic. Nick Friedell, class of 2006, now on air at ESPN Chicago here in the Windy City. Thanks so much, Nick.
You got it, Kim.